This is the story of a film about Jackson Pollock that was shot in 1951 on Springs Fireplace Road in East Hampton, Long Island, New York. I recently found a 16mm film in a box of photographs that I had never gone through after I moved to southern Florida about 7 years ago. This amazing piece of American abstract painting history is less than 10 minutes long. It's silent, but after viewing it, it touched me deeply and prompted many memories, as well as my own personal connection to abstract painting in my lifetime. My late and great brother Robert Miller, commonly referred to as Bob, was a renowned art dealer and coincidentally stayed with Lee Krasner in East Hampton, who was Jackson Pollock's wife, one summer, probably in the mid to late 60s, early 70s. And at one point in his career, he represented Lee Krasner. Lee Krasner was a prominent name and celebrated in contemporary American art. Bob used to own a silver 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham Baritz convertible with a dark red leather interior, and he allowed me to drive it occasionally. And he also asked me to chauffeur some of his friends and clients around if and when it was necessary. I was always honored to be in the service of my big brother Bob because he was always kind and generous to me. Big brother Bob had invited me and my girlfriends and our future wife to be his guest in East Hampton many times as he regularly summered there. It was always fun to be with Bob and his family and in their company. Because of him, I wound up getting a first-hand look at the art world. I was in the Hamptons in August 1983 and was invited on a fishing trip with my late friend Chuck Terlinsky on his 48-foot Egg Harbor sports fisherman. Coincidentally, Bob was having a dinner party at the home he rented that summer in East Hampton, which coincidentally was in the same area that Steven Spielberg owned his home. Chuck and I had decided that we were going to go shark fishing that day, and he had brought some great live bait, which we loaded up on the hooks and cast it. And fortunately, in the very early morning and beginning of our trip, I caught a very large bluefish. Big bluefish were referred to as monster blues and also called gangster blues, and this one was a whopper. It was probably close to 3 feet long. Everyone on the boat was excited, and we said, let's hook that thing up and use it for shark bait, and that's exactly what we did. That fish was in the water for several hours, and unfortunately was the only fish we caught that day. But even though it was shark bait, the fish was cured, as was in the ocean all those hours, so all the blood that was in the fish was flushed out of it, and consequently it was a very good piece of fish. When I got back to the docks, I called Bob, and he asked me what I had caught, and I told him a big monster blue, and he said, bring it over, we'll have it for dinner, and that he would make a fresh green sauce out of herbs from his garden. Well, I went to that dinner, and coincidentally Lee Krasner was there, and lo and behold, the green sauce Bob made was absolutely delicious and went perfectly with the shark bait monster blue fish. Bob was a fabulous chef, and he taught me a lot about food and the world, and I'm grateful to him for it. I love writing and telling this story as it instills so many fond and wonderful memories of New York, the Hamptons, the art world, and the deep gratitude for being Robert Miller's little brother. I love you, Bob. Later that summer, and back in New York City, Bob asked me if I would pick up Lee Krasner and bring her to his home and stopped by the gallery first, so consequently, Lee was familiar with me, even though she was getting old, but I was her chauffeur a few times. This brief film instills my passion for abstract painting, and when you view it, you'll see that Jackson Pollock at work at his home and studio on Springs Fireplace Road in East Hampton in 1951 is an absolutely extraordinary piece of American abstract painting history. I needed to share this with people that I know, as Pollock was a game changer, so I hope you enjoy seeing his work. My love of abstract painting is in my blood, and consequently, Brother Bob was an excellent painter, as are both my daughters, Lisanne and Margot. I love abstract painting, and Jackson Pollock is the king. I want you to understand that I do not own this film, nor am I profiting from it in any way, or attempting to profit from it in any way, but I'm sharing it with anyone who appreciates art that I know, and the history represented in this clip is amazing, and I sincerely hope that you'll enjoy it. Thank you for listening, and let me know what you think of the film.